Now, let us discuss what's the volumetric efficiency of a reciprocating compression. Now, we have already discussed the volumetric viscosity of a reciprocating compressor is the ratio of actual volume of reciprocating compressor, actual volume through the compressor per cycle to the stroke volume of the compressor. Means the actual amount they are compressing and delivering divided the amount of volume they are sweeping during the compression. So mathematically, the swept volume by actual volume is V1 minus V4 divided by V1 minus Vc, where V1 is the volume at the inlet minus the volume at the clearance volume. Clearance volume, and here V1 volume at the inlet minus volume at the outlet. But V1 is not equal to Vc. V4 is not equal to Vc. There is clearance volume. Now, since the refrigeration gases are expanded and compressed in every cycle, therefore the curve 3-4 is called re-expansion curve. That is the 3-4 is defined as re-expansion curve, where 1 to 2 is the compression, 1 to 2 is delivery, 3 to 4 is expansion and suction, and 4 to 1 is also suction is there. Now, applying to PV to the power n is equal to constant given the point 3 and 4, that is PV into V3 to the power n is a P4 and V4 to the power n. Where expansion, P4, suction, expansion, compression, suction. Now, that is the at the end, that is at the beginning of suction, from the end of discharge to the beginning of suction, the amount of expansion which takes place is given by the from 3 to 4. That is isentropic expansion. So we are applying the PV to the power n constant to this particular curve. This is also called the expansion curve, where the volume of the refrigerant kept in the clearance volume is expanded unless the pressure is fall in such a way, in such a manner less than the atmospheric pressure, where from which the vapor will be come again starting from the evaporator. Now, PV to the power n is equal to constant 0.3 and 4, and at the same time PV to the power P2 Vc, and where is P2 discharge at P2 is the pressure at the beginning of discharge, and V2 is the V2 is the discharge volume, Vc is the discharge volume is equal to P1 into V4, that is P1 multi P4 into V4. So P3 V to the power n is equal to P4 V to the power n, or P2 Vc to the power n, where P3 is equal to P2 because discharging is being convected in the same pressure, so there is no change in pressure. So P2 is equal to P3, and V3 become V3 or equal to clearance volume Vc. P1 is the pressure at the inlet, which is same as the pressure during the suction, and multiplied by V4, the volume at the beginning of the suction. So V4 is equal to Vc, and P4 is equal to Vc multiplied by P2 by P1 to the power 1 by n. As if we take the V4, it will be like this. V4 to the power n is equal to P1, P2 by P1 into Vc to the power n, or V4 is equal to Vc P2 by P1, P2 by P1, that is again we have to erase P2 by P1, P2 by P1 by P1 to the power 1 by n. Substitute the value of V4 in equation 1, where efficiency V1 minus Vc into P2 by P1 1 by N, while V1 minus Vc. And we have just replaced V4 in terms of Vc. Now, if we again simplify the above equation, then V1 plus Vc minus Vc, we add a 1 here Vc and subtract the same, then minus Vc, or V1 minus Vc divided by V1 minus Vc as Vc divided by V1 minus Vc minus Vc divided by P2 by P1 1 by P1 by V1 minus Vc. So here this is subtracting each other, that is equal to 1. Vc divided by V1 minus Vc is the clearance volume, clearance factor, which is defined as the clearance volume divided by the original volume minus maximum volume minus the clearance volume. So it is replaced by C. So the efficiency V, volumetric efficiency, is 1 plus clearance factor minus C, P2 divided by P1. This is 1 by N. So what we have done, first of all, we first understand what is the volumetric efficiency. This is given by efficiency of the volume of the fluid supplied by the cylinder divided by the sweat volume. The volume of the fluid supplied to V1 minus V4, this can be supplied there, and sweat volume is V1 minus the clearance volume. Next, we apply the equation P to the power n is equal to constant between 3 to 4. It will become P3 V4 by P4 P4 to the power n, P3 V to the power n, and P4 V4 to the power n. Or as P2 is equal to P3 and P1 is equal to P4, we replace P1 and P3 by P2 and P4, P1 and P4 by P2 and P1. So now we replace P3 and P4 by P2 and P1. So V4 is equal to Vc divided by P2 by 1 by N. Then substitute the value of V4 in the equation, in our earlier equation of the efficiency, we get the efficiency. The equation remains at this particular form. With further simplification, it comes down to 1 plus C minus D, P2 by P1, 1 by N, where C is the clearance factor equal to Vc divided by V1 minus Vc. Now, let us go through one practical problem before go through the demonstration. A large single-stage, single-acting compressor, reciprocating compressor, has a bore 200 millimeter and a stroke 300 millimeter. So this receives paper refrigerant at 1 bar and delivers at 5 bar. The compression expansion follows the law Pv to the power n, which n is equal to 1.3 is equal to constant. The clearance volume is 5% of the stroke volume. The volume required to drive the compressor, find out the volume required to drive the compressor if it runs at 500 pm, and 2, the volumetric efficiency of the compressor. Next, T is equal to 200 millimeter is equal to 0.2 meter, L is equal to 300 millimeter is equal to 0.3 meter. P1 equal to 1 bar, or 1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. P1 and P2 is 5.5 bar, 5.5 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter. N is 1.3, Vc is 5%, and N 5% of Vp, and N is equal to 100 RPM. So stroke volume, put the 5 by 4 D square in L, where D is equal to 0.2 M and L is equal to 0.3 M is equal to so equal to 0.0094 MQ. Clearance volume 5% of Vp. The Vp is the stroke volume, where put the value of 0.05 into Vp, 0.05 into 0.0094 equal to 0.00047 MQ. The total cylinder volume V1 plus clearance volume plus sweat volume, it is 0.0047 plus 0094 equal to 0.009987 meter cube. Now expansion the volume and expanded clearance volume. The clearance volume which is after extension before the incoming valve opens is P4. Clearance volume multiplied by P2 by P1 1 by N, where Vc is given 0.00047 5.5 to the power 1.3 0.00174. That is P4. Now the work done by the compressor N by N1 P1 V2 by V1 minus V2 or R1 by R2. Here we have got value of V1 minus V2. So P1 equal to P1 divided by P2. P2 divided by P1 is equal to 1 minus N by N minus 1. This 1.3 divided by 1.3 minus 1 multiplied by 1 into 10 to the power 5 into 0.00987. Minus 0.00174 multiplied by 5.5 by 1, by P2 is equal to 5.1 and P1 is equal to 1, but 1.3, well, N is equal to 1.3 minus 1 divided by 1.3 minus 1. So 3500, 1.42, 48 minus 1, 1695 Newton meter. If the compressor is a single acting, therefore the number of working stroke per minute, what 1695 into RPM divided by 60, 1695 into 500 RPM divided by 60 is equal to 14120 watt, but 14.12 kilowatt. And the volumetric efficiency of the compressor V1, V1 minus V4 divided by V1 minus VC. Put the value of V1 here and V4 here and VC here. So it gets the volumetric efficiency of the compressor 0.865 or 86.5%. Let us go through a few examples of storage. Stop share. Yes.
Friends, today we will discuss about hermetically sealed compressor and its working and assembly. It is widely used in domestic refrigerator and air conditioners. This is the upper cell and this is the lower cell of the compressor. Both are made of steel and welded here. Inside this cell, both compressor and motor are directly coupled on same shaft. This is the stator winding of induction motor and this is the rotor. Electric connections are taken out from stator winding. It is mounted by 4 bolts at resting on springs so that it can absorb motor vibrations. This is the crankshaft and it is directly connected to the rotor. This is the compressor area and piston inside the cylinder. This is called cylinder head. It's connected to crankshaft by connecting rod. At the top of cylinder head, in and out valves are placed here. This is a suction line which comes from evaporator. It is being routed around the electrical winding and then connected to the suction port. As the suction line is having low pressure and low temperature, it helps in cooling the winding. This is a discharge connection which goes to the condenser, and from there it goes to the refrigerator.
Hello, good morning to all. Today we have to study about hermetically sealed compressor, the topic subject of refrigeration and air conditioning system. Hermetically sealed compressor, we have to mostly know word for a compressor. Most of this public common person or students are not hear about the hermetically sealed compressor. Hermetically sealed means the base of the compressor is mounted with the electric motor and reciprocating pump. Then after the top side is hermetically safe, and we have to close and close with the highly sealed. That's the inside and outside atmospheric condition pressure are not affected to a compressor. So that's called as a hermetically sealed compressor. Topic to be covered in this video: what is compressor, hermetic compressor, cut section view of compressor, hermetically sealed compressor and its working, suction and discharge of refrigerant at compressor. This we have to study. What is compressor? And air compress is a device that convert power using by electric motor, diesel, gasoline engine, etc. Means any type of the device we have to convert power, but we have to get or absorb power from electric motor, diesel or gasoline engine into the potential energy and storage in a pressurized air. Also we have said that as a compressed air. We have to know that the normal compressor are working with air or gas and pump are working with liquid, but we have to compress the air. So these compressed are highly pressurized air, and we have to store in a pressurized tank or any another utilization or uses. By one of the survival method, the air compressor force more and more air into the storage tank and increase the pressure. This compressor we have to using in our refrigeration system, so that it's required a higher and higher pressure. This compressor discharge flow is very slow, but it's give a higher pressure to output. The purpose of this compressor to circulate the refrigerant in the system under the pressure. This concentrate the heat is contained. At the compressor, the low pressure gas is charged to high pressure gas. Means that the compressor working is the suction side and discharge side. At the suction side is a very low pressure gas are coming from the evaporator, and it gives the higher pressurized gas at the after compression process to working a refrigeration cycle to continuous flow into the systems. The basic working principle of the air compressor is to compress atmospheric air, which is then used as per requirement. In the process, atmospheric air is drawn in through an intake valve. More and more air is pulled inside the limited space mechanically by means of piston, impeller, or any vane. Means we have to require a higher pressure so that we have to give more and more air into the storage tank. It's give a step by step pressure increasing. This mechanically work done by the compressor through piston, impeller, or any vane. This is the main function and working of the compressor. Hermetically sealed compressor. A hermetically sealed compressor is one which both compressor and motor are confined in a single outer welded steel cell. Means we have to assuming there is a one steel cell, means there is a one steel cell. We have to putting a one element as a motor which give a rotary motion, and then another is a compressor, means single acting, double acting, scroll compressor, screw compressor, any type of the compressor. We have to mount it within these with connectors of the motor which give the rotary motion to the compressor, and these all are welded with a portion, half portion divided. This called a hermetically sealed compressor, where the outer pressure and inside pressure are not affected. The motor and the compressor are directly coupled onto the same shaft with the motor inside the refrigeration circuit. Hermetically sealed compressors are assembled and unclosed in a strong or rigid casing made up of welded steel cell. Because of the we have to maintaining a higher pressure inside the compressor, so that we have to give a strong and rigid casing with welded joint. The steel set comprised of two half-rounded steel body that are welded together. Means the one is a hermetically top side of the compressor and bottom side is base, where is the motor is mounted, and here is a compressor and coupled with the single shaft. This portion are we have to highly sealed valve, so that the hermetically sealed compressor. This is the cut section view of the hermetically sealed compressor. First we have to show hermetically sealed compressor outer steel casing. This is the blue portion we have to show, that is a hermetically sealed compressor casing which was the made from the steel. These are the four leg of the compressor to provide a base and or platform. The half cut section is there and another hermetically half cut section is there. The compressor divided into the two portion. Half portion is a bottom side where we have to mount an electric motor, and top side is a cover of the all assembled system, and then after we have to weld it. This portion are shown mentioned as a welded. This two portion of the compressor casing. Compressor casing is one is a bottom side and another is a top side casing welded with a high weld or sealed. We have to show all the component. Internal pressure relief valve. This is the internal pressure relief valve. Due to the higher speed or higher superheated refrigerant, it's given more and more pressure with a critical limit cross. This is the internal pressure valve, relieve the critical pressure and maintain the design pressure into refrigerant line or conditioner line. Second topic is this muffler. Muffler is that it's give a protection against the higher magnetic field. This is the piston. Piston is this assembled system are single acting reciprocating pump, where is the one piston and one cylinder, one inlet and one outlet are mounted on this total assemble for the refrigerant flow from lower pressure to higher pressure. This is the crank case heater. In case of winter condition, sometimes the reciprocating single acting reciprocating mechanism are not work. For that, he give a crankcase heater for smoothly running condition. It is all inside the glass, means the all assemble are with fill in a oil. Because of the we have to this compressor highly welded pipe, so it cannot be possible to open or close anytime for a lubrication purpose, so that the we have give the oil inside the compressor for continuous lubrication of the systems. Discharge connection, this is the discharge from the compressor, and this line is a suction line where is the refrigerant in and there is a out of refrigerant. This portion R is a motor winding core, means it produce a magnetic field where we have to give the electricity. This is the terminal blocks where we have to give electricity as a phase, neutral and earthing into the compressor for a working of the compressor. These are mentioned as a spring. The spring are mounted in the base of the motor and compressor assembly to absorb the additional vibration. The spring are provided. This is the normal figure of the hermetically sealed compressor, suction line, welded joint, piston, discharge line, discharge valve, discharge and suction valve, and these are the base platform. First we have to starting from the suction side. The refrigerant coming from the suction line. Suction line is directly connected to a evaporator, where is the refrigerant are come with the low pressure and low temperature. This suction line to refrigerant are enter into the compressor and freely move at the compressor inside. Then after that, this refrigerant pass to the piston cylinder arrangement, single acting piston cylinder arrangement inside, and the piston's movement is reciprocating motion. This reciprocating motion is converted by the rotary motion due to the piston crank and crankshaft. This crank and crankshaft gives the rotary motion from the electric motor. This is the electric motor, this is the winding core. The motor and this both are winding core, and it gives a rotational motion. The motor give rotational motion where this portion give rotary motion to reciprocating motion. Then after that, this reciprocating motion, the pistons move to stroke 1, stroke 2, stroke 1, stroke 2 for the suction valve to enter gas inlet and discharge valve to gas outlet as a pressurized gas. Here is the downside. Yellow portion is mentioned a oil inside the compressor. This oil are used for the lubrication purpose to working a mechanical component part. Because of that, we have to weld two portion, top side of the compressor and bottom side of the compressor. We cannot remove any time to give lubrication. It is not easily possible to remove any time, so that we have to give oil inside the compressor to continuous lubrication of this mechanical system, and it's give a cool down of the compressor system. The oil's working is there to lubricate the system and cool down the compressor. This is the suction and discharge of refrigerant air compressor. This assemble figure is 1 and 2. First is a suction and second is a discharge. We have to show that this figure we have to enlarge form and suction and discharge stroke in this view. First, the piston move downward direction and suction valve is open and discharge valve is closed. Then after the second figure is the piston move upward direction, the suction valve is closed and discharge valve is open and pressurized gas is coming out from the compressor, single acting reciprocating motion, and this assembly is convert rotary motion to reciprocating motion for operating of the compressor. You have to mention that when its rotary motion is rotated by an electric motor, this is the electric motor give a rotary motion. This is the basic working of the hermetically sealed compressor. Okay, thank you.
Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video I discuss about hermetically sealed compressors, its component, its working, why its name is hermetically sealed, and its advantages and limitations and its applications. Now, it's known hermetically sealed compressors because in a one unit, means this black unit, okay, it is constructed from the steel. Inside this complete unit we are putting the two component. One is the motor and second one is the compressor. This compressor may be reciprocating or a rotary types. Okay, so in one unit we putting the motor and compressors. That's why it is known as hermetically sealed compressors. Okay, and it is sealed on the one unit, so there is a no leakage problems. Now it is here you see the sectional view of the hermetically sealed compressors. Now here you watch, it is a electric motors and on the upper part it's the compressors, and here the schematic diagrams, here the compressor and it is the motor parts. Now this motor have the winding, that is a stator and rotors. So it is the motor rotor winding and it is the stator windings. Okay, now and it is a not a completely sealed motor, but its winding is open inside them. Okay, and in this we have the three pipes. One is the suction pipe that is supplied to this compressor. This part is the compressors, and in this figure it is shown as the reciprocating compressors. It is a crankshaft. On this crankshaft, first up this is the motor. Okay, and this is the shaft of the motor as well as the compressors. On this same unit, same shaft, motor is installed and this compressor is installed. This is the crank, connecting rod, piston, cylinders and discharge refrigerant is supplied. And this service line of the compressor is also provided because of the first time of the chargings. And before charging of these refrigerants, the complete unit is doing the dehydrations. Dehydration means we are removing the moisture content from the systems. If the moisture inside and we feel the refrigerant, let's create the problem inside the system, so dehydration of the complete unit is required. Okay, so this the again these same figures. So here you can see that in the motor the copper tube winding is directly supplied. This winding is opens. Okay, when this motor is there in the completely sealed unit, so motor is heated after signs. So how this heat energy is rejected? So this heat energy removed from this motor is absorbed by these oils. So it is known as the cooling oil, as well as the refrigerant from the evaporator is coming at the low pressure and the vapor state. So it is passing from the winding of this motor. So this refrigerant is also absorbed some heat. So it is not given in the book any, but it is practically when you observe these things by cutting off these sealed compressors. So its tube refrigerant coming from the evaporator is first passing from the motor. So what this refrigerant absorb the heat from the motor and refrigerant superheating is also done. Then after it is supplied in the compressors, and in the compressors processes takes place and then it is supplied into the discharge line and then it is going into the condensers. So it is the complete workings of the hermetically sealed compressor. Next we see its applications. So it is widely used smaller capacity refrigerating system, such as used in domestic refrigerator, home freezers and window air conditioning system. So at our home in the fridge and AC, this compressor is used, that is a hermetically sealed compressors. That is a motors and compressor may be reciprocating or a Row 3. Next, its advantages. The leakage of refrigerant is completely avoided. So if leakage is done inside this compressor, it is also on the sealed. So leakage is not a problem. It is a less noise operations because motor is completely sealed by using the steel materials. So its noise is also come lower. The lubrication is simple as the motor and compressor operate in a sealed space with the lubrication oils. Next one, it's required a less space because when we separating install the motors and compressor, it required a larger space. Next, the disadvantages. There is a maintenance is difficult because of the moving parts are not assemblable. If there is a certain problem in the motors, then we also need to replace the compressor. If the problem in the compressor, then we also need to replace the motor. So increase our the maintenance cost as well as the maintenance is difficult because we are required to completely replace the parts. We are not doing the maintenance either motor or a compressors. We need to replace it. And second is for charging and evacuation, separate pump is required. For charging of this refrigerant from the service lines, we are required the separate pumps. Thank you for watching this video. If you learned, then like my video, subscribe my channels and share with your friend.
Welcome to Academic Gain Tutorials. In this video, we will learn about the vapor compression refrigeration system, along with its different parts and functions. So, let's get into the topic. We know that refrigeration is the process of lowering the temperature by removing unwanted heat from a selected object, substance, or an enclosed space and transferring this heat to another object, substance, or space. Now, from the name vapor compression refrigeration system, we can understand that in this process we will compress a vapor refrigerant inside the system to obtain the refrigeration or cooling. If we are going to compress vapor in this system of refrigeration, then obviously we will need a compressor for this job. So, the process of compressing the vapor refrigerant inside the system using a compressor to obtain the refrigeration or cooling is called vapor compression refrigeration system. Now, let's look into the major parts and components and basic working procedure of the vapor compression refrigeration system. So, here we have a compressor, after that there is a condenser, then there is an expansion valve or throttle valve, or we can simply call it a valve, and finally, there is an evaporator. So these four major components together construct the vapor compression refrigeration system. All these components are connected together using these connecting pipes, thus a closed-loop system is formed, and the refrigerant for this vapor compression refrigeration system will flow through all these components and pipes in the system. Now, let's see how these components work. Throughout the whole process, our main purpose will be to ensure that continuously cooling effect or refrigeration effect is obtained in this evaporator. We all know that this evaporator is the component where the refrigeration or cooling actually takes place. This evaporator is placed on the region where we need cooling, and then the evaporator absorbs all the heat of that region and passes those heat to the cold refrigerant passing through the evaporator coils, thus the surrounding environment cools down. So, let's see how this process works. First of all, this compressor starts working. The job of the compressor is to pressurize or compress the vapor refrigerant inside this compressor chamber. Here, in vapor compression refrigeration system we commonly use either ammonia or freon as a heat-carrying medium throughout the whole procedure. Now, we know that if pressure increases, it also increases the temperature. So, when this vapor refrigerant is compressed inside the compressor chamber by squeezing the vapor very tightly together, it will heat up. After that, this high pressure and high temperature vapor refrigerant will leave the compressor and will enter into the condenser through this connected pipe. Here, we have a condenser. When high temperature high pressure vapor refrigerant enters this cold condenser, then the condenser absorbs the heat from the vapor refrigerant and completely converts it into liquid. This condenser can be water-cooled, air-cooled, or cooled by any other substance from an external source, which will liberate the latent heat of this vapor coming into the condenser, and thus condensing keeps happening. So, in easier words, condenser changes the incoming high-temperature high-pressure vapor refrigerant into liquid state by changing its phase. Here we had vapor coming in, and now we have liquid refrigerant going out, so the phase is changed. Now this high pressure, high temperature liquid refrigerant will leave the condenser and pass through this expansion valve or throttle valve using this connected pipe. Now, this high pressure liquid refrigerant coming from the condenser will be expanded inside this expansion valve. We know that when expansion occurs, the pressure between the molecules decreases considerably, thus the temperature falls. So, this high pressure liquid refrigerant will be expanded into low pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant. In practical use, at this point we do not get only liquid refrigerant, but here we actually obtain a mixture of low pressure, low temperature liquid and vapor refrigerant. Thus, here we get a mixture of very cold, chilled, low temperature liquid and vapor refrigerant coming out of the expansion valve. Then, this liquid and vapor mixed refrigerant will be passed over to the evaporator. We all know that the main cooling effect or refrigeration effect always occurs in the evaporator. So, when this low pressure, very cold, chilled, low temperature liquid refrigerant will enter the evaporator coils, it will absorb all the heat present in the surface of the evaporator coils. By absorbing all the heat from the surrounding region of the evaporator coils, this cold chilled liquid refrigerant will completely turn into low pressure vapor refrigerant inside these coils, and the surrounding region of the evaporator will become cold by losing the heat to this liquid. Thus the cooling effect or refrigeration effect has occurred in the evaporator. After that, this low pressure vapor refrigerant will leave the evaporator and enter into this compressor through this connected pipe. Now, this low pressure vapor refrigerant coming to the condenser will be again compressed inside the compressor chamber and converted to high pressure high temperature vapor. Then again this high pressure high temperature vapor will be passed to this condenser where it will change phase and will be converted to liquid. Then it is passed to the expansion valve, the evaporator and again to the compressor, so the cycle keeps repeating over and over again, and refrigeration or cooling is obtained continuously in the evaporator region throughout the whole process. So, this is how vapor compression refrigeration system works. Thank you for watching this video. If this video was helpful, subscribe to my channel Academic Gain Tutorials for more updated videos.
Basic principle of refrigeration is simple. Just pass a colder liquid continuously around the object which is to be cooled. This will take heat out from the object. The whole refrigeration technology is after this: how to produce cold liquid continuously. We will see how this is achieved in this video. This is what inside a refrigerator. At the heart of the system is a simple device called throttling device. Cold liquid is produced with help of this phenomenon. In this case, throttling device is a capillary tube. For effective throttling, at inlet, refrigerant should be high-pressure liquid. Throttling device is an obstruction to the flow, which causes tremendous pressure drop. Due to drop in pressure, boiling point of refrigerant comes down, and it starts evaporating. Heat required for evaporation comes within the refrigerant, so its temperature drops. If you check temperature across throttling device, you can notice this drop. Next phase is simple. Just pass this cold liquid over the body where you have to absorb heat. During heat absorption process, refrigerant further evaporates and transforms into pure vapor. So we have produced the required refrigeration effect. If we can take this low-pressure vapor refrigerant to state before throttling process, that is high-pressure liquid state, we will be able to repeat this process. So first step, let's raise the pressure. A compressor is introduced for this purpose. Compressor will raise the pressure back to its initial value. But since it is compressing gas, along with pressure, temperature will also raise. It is unavoidable. Now the refrigerant is high-pressure vapor. To convert it to liquid state, we are introducing another heat exchanger. This heat exchanger is fitted outside refrigerator, so it will liberate heat to the surroundings. Vapor will get condensed to liquid and temperature will come down to normal level. So the refrigerant is back to its initial state again, high-pressure liquid. We can repeat this cycle over and over for continuous refrigeration. This cycle is known as vapor compression cycle. You can note more details of refrigerator components here. To enhance heat transfer, both evaporator and condenser are having fins attached to it. Since evaporator is cooling the surrounding air, it is common that water will get condensed over it, forming frost. Frequent removal of frost is required to enhance heat transfer. Apart from raising pressure, compressor also helps maintain flow in the refrigerant circuit. Usually, hermetically sealed reciprocating type with proper sealing is used for this purpose. Since it is compressing gas, huge amount of input power is required for this operation. A simple energy balance of the system yields this relation. Performance of a refrigeration system can be defined as follows. Hope you had a good overview of working of a refrigerator. Thank you.